Episode 110, Exercise, Day 1 Thinking.
You're listening to the very best podcast in the world on health, wealth, and happiness. Please remember to leave a review and share with all your friends and family. And here is your host, Lars Hilser.
And we have arrived at the end of yet another week, which was totally, I don't know, boring in the Rona times. But boy, was it interesting in a large variety. Is there anything like a large variety? I don't fucking care. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 110th episode of the very best podcast in the world, your only source in the universe for personal supremacy through health, wealth, and happiness. Now, I got an interesting inquiry on Facebook the other day. I tried to join a podcast support group. It sounds different to what it actually is. It kind of sounds like an AA organization, but it was like this where you exchange ideas about, podcasts and how to make them better and where to market them and whatnot. Anyhow, I try to stick out my feelers on where to publish, how to get more attention for the show, which is also, again, the appeal to you if you hear an episode that may be of interest to, friend or family member or whatever. Please do share it because we do, in fact, need to get the word out, I feel, because the feedback I'm getting is so positive that it helps so many people develop and excel in their personality that, I'm again, kind of subtly pushing you to get the word out, share the episodes that are of interest to a friend, maybe, or a family member, and subscribe to it yourself, which you probably already have. And anyhow, this lady who had just recently become admin was like, wrote me a direct message and said, look, this supremacy thing, what's that all about? And I think, it gives the word has like this negative connotation to it, especially coming from a German, I guess. But I went ahead and clarified and said, okay, when the show started, it was supposed to be this persiflage against all of these motivational gurus and sales jerk-offs on YouTube and the other parts of the intertubes. And that's why, I kind of chose the name that I chose just to make it sound overly ridiculous. And anyhow, we had a good laugh in that conversation and went quite well. That's why I always have to chuckle when I mentioned the supremacy bit from here on forth, probably. So, today's episode is going to be about day one thinking. I was just about to say one day thinking. That would be a dream, wouldn't it? No, day one thinking and how to integrate that into your life to increase probably your overall efficiency, both in private and professional lives, parts of your life, what segments, whatever. So what's the concept about really? Day one thinking is like your first day on a new job or on a new task or, whatever. It's like, despite the fact that you may have done, maybe your 10,000th day of, showing up at your workplace. Would that make you a retiree forcibly? Don't know. But so it's like, even though, you come back every day, you've done your task and your stuff at the office, and you're, very proficient at what you do, and it's very routine, and so on and so forth. This concept of day one thinking says, okay, despite the fact that it is your 1,000th or your 10,000th day at work, look at the tasks like you're doing them for the first time. And that's what this episode is going to be about. So in the first phase, I'm going to explain what the benefits and perhaps the downsides of this concept are. And in the second phase, we're going to spend a little bit of time putting it together and making that work for you to, advance you really, and to, through awareness, get a totally different picture of what you're actually doing. And so let's get started. As I said, it's about questioning every procedure that you do, also in your private life. So, I'm not talking about, putting whatever on your piece of bread in the morning. It's more about, I don't know. I was out in the woods the other day, taking apart a tree, and the way I used the chainsaw was different to the ways I would normally have used it. And that gave me, really made me much more efficient in taking out big cookies of the tree to then, split it apart and put it away. And I was really not aware of the new technology I was using. I just, had a brain fart and took the saw in another way, or sawed with the saw. Saw. In another way. And anyhow, this led to a significant improvement in efficiency, which, probably was also good for the engine of the saw. Anyhow, long story short, this just goes to say that pretty much every procedure that you do throughout the day can be increased in efficiency. And there we go. So this concept is really about questioning, like I said, what you do, questioning every procedure. Can I improve it? Can I make it quicker? Can I make it more efficient? Can I thereby gain free time, during the day that I can use for, other good stuff for myself, maybe? Can it increase the bottom line of the company that I work for, and so on and so forth? Those are the kind of questions you need to ask yourself repeatedly, to find better solutions for existing methodologies, right? And it's about finding better routines and improving processes all together. And, again, this is both in your professional and your and the personal part of your life. So a while ago, we made an episode about how you can make your life feel less speeding by you. Is that a sentence? I don't know. Anyhow, it's about the episode was about that with increasing age, it appears that your that life just starts to accelerate, and that days just go by so much quicker, years go much pass by you without you really noticing it. And the reason for that is that you are subconsciously routinizing things, and you've got so much stuff going on autopilot. With an increasing age, the number of tasks that you do just run on total autopilot, and because you are not investing any more brain juice into doing them, it appears as though they happen much quicker. So, imagine your normal day of a 9 to 5 person. They have a routine pretty much from the time they get up to the time they go to bed. Everything is on the clock, right? And because all of their day, in essence, is so repetitive, it just seems like, you wake up and boom, you're going to bed, and where's this day gone, right? And it's just your mind playing a trick on you, because it just puts everything on autopilot and kind of lets it whiz by you. So the conclusion of this episode was really to change your life, be it, adding a new hobby or learning a new skill, or, whatever it is at the end of the day. And that is, at least in theory, and has for me been a true brake pedal for my life. So contrary to what I said then, this is, at first glance, really the total opposite. And it's not. Because this is about, at a heightened stage of awareness, kind of disabling the autopilot, analyzing anything and everything you do throughout the day to find improvements. So see this rather not as, me really endorsing routines, but it's really about the analysis of the routines, right? And see this analysis really as a new kind of hobby or a new addition to what you're doing all day. Therefore, making your life appear less speedy. I'm trying to find the right word, but I just can't. Speedy just sounds so adorable, right? Right. The downside is obviously that you're, still going to be stuck in your routines. The upside is that you're going to be, at a higher level of awareness of what you're actually doing, right? You're making yourself aware of the routines that you're going through all day. And that will kind of trick the autopilot into off mode, because it's like, oh fuck, I'm not just doing the routines. Actually, person's actually thinking about what they're doing. Holy shit. And that's really the key to where we need to go. And you're going to catch yourself very often slipping away into the routine again, not thinking about it. So it's a difficult road to walk down. It won't happen immediately that you'll be able to take your routines apart, right? But after a short amount of time, you'll kind of get used to questioning everything, right? And thinking about ways in which, you can make yourself more efficient, which will, give you more available time of the day, which in turn will, give you more quality in life, more time to relax or to invest into other private things that you're doing, to spend time with your family or whatnot. And on a professional level, if there's this thing that particularly in larger organizations, which kind of gets in very quickly and very deeply, is we've always done it this way. I bet everybody's heard that. It's like this kill-all answer that these the seniorities give you in an organization when you try to introduce new shit. And it's like, it's like, wait, we always done it that way, son. And it's really about overcoming that. And you're going to run against a lot of brick walls. But if you come with a proof of concept and say, look, yeah, we've always done it this way, but here's this way, right? Here's a new way. And it's going to save us $1 million a year. And then all of a sudden they'll be like, oh, okay, hold on. Okay, let me tune in. And then you're going to have the conversation, and then you're going to be the hero of the organization, because it's not going to be the first time. It's going to be the first time, but it's not going to be the last time that you're going to be implementing stuff like that. Because if you scrutinize everything you do, you're going to come up with loads of ideas on how you can improve shit. And it's actually fun to implement something like that in an organization. If you're self-employed, or if you're running your own organization, make a game out of that. Gamify the concept in that you say, okay, look, you're gonna if you propose something that saves us, I don't know, let's say $1 million, we're going to give you 10% of what that is going to earn us for the first year. So you'll be throwing $100K at that person, which is a significant amount of money for them. But at the end of the day, you're going to be saving that $1 million each year, right? So lots of large organizations, well, not lots of them, but some of the organizations I worked with really were quite successful with stuff like that and saving a lot of money and increasing efficiency. So that being said, let's get down to the exercise bit, which is going to be rather simple. So it's about mapping your day, your normal day, right? And putting that on a sheet of paper. And on that sheet of paper, you kind of write down all of the routines that you have per day. Now, this takes a lot of awareness, because walking through a day in your mind, through a day which was essentially on autopilot, it's very difficult to go back and review it. So you're probably going to have to do it while you're actually living through that day. Sorry. And you're going to have to be quite meticulous about taking down all of the shit. And then it's about sitting down and internalizing your routine and making yourself aware of the routine. And then in the next phase, that's all of this on this sheet of paper, your daily routines. And then you're going to go ahead and say, okay, where can I chew off time? Right? And how can I make what I do more efficient? And who stands to gain? That's, the very important question. Number one, focus should be you, obviously, as the person changing your day, because you're going to have more time available. But also look at the organizational benefits, because you can be teacher's pet with this, an employee of the month, and, raise and blah, excel in the organization, because this process is going to kind of integrate into your life, right? And it's going to become integral and will become your new way of thinking. And you will start to question really everything that you do. Be careful that it doesn't become a pain in the ass, right? Because you can take this as anything. You can take this too far, right? But, look at cryptic things also. Do you like to take a run in the morning or the evening? What do you do? Do you listen to music? Or do you listen to a podcast because, it educates you? Because you can stimulate your mind while you're running, taking your mind off of physical processes going on in your body. And that's a very interesting thing to do, is to kind of occupy your mind with something different while you're actually going through a otherwise treacherous process. Are you the cooking person like myself? And do you spend hours in the kitchen? What's other stuff that you can do there? Are you, while you're doing the laundry or, other shitty tasks, can you fill that time with other stuff to increase, the efficiency of what you're actually doing? Are you, I don't know, do you take long showers because, I don't know, you can, right? Can you shorten those? What would what would happen if you would take a 15-minute shower instead of a 30-minute shower, for instance? It's all of these little things that you do. And a lot of stuff that we do is habitual anyhow. And why not look at it and make it, more efficient to a degree where, you can really chew off some time, which will then become free time available to you, to then be at your disposal. And if it's just for, getting more sleep, if you're like me, not the long sleeping person, an extra hour of sleep would be beneficial probably for my health. But there's just so much shit to do. So anyhow, long story short, I hope I was able to help you with this episode. And do let me know via email to the very best podcast in the world at gmail.com how you actually managed to implement that into your life, just out of curiosity. And other than that, I hope you have a successful weekend and get some time to relax and settle down till the new week starts. And other than that, I'm going to hear you on Monday. Well, you're going to hear me. Unless you write me an email, then I will hear you too. Sorry. And then have a nice weekend, and we'll be in touch on Monday. Take care, stay safe, and see you soon.